Even though I don't really have time to do this video, I thought the roses just looked so good, and the sunlight this morning was a bit muted, so I thought I'd take you for a tour around my roses. And I don't know the names of them all, so you'll have to forgive me, but they're all David Austin roses. Except for this one, funnily enough, which I bought just from a DIY store, and is a pretty white patio rose that smells sort of soapy, but it's very good performer. Look at all the buds on it. So it's really beautiful. It will be sort of filling up my pathway with white roses and smelling beautifully quite soon. But this is my rose hedge. It's one of the first things I planted when I moved here. And it's just all different David Austin roses. It may have even come as a pack, because they do like a rose hedge pack. Well, they did, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, they're just beautiful. I think there's 6 rose shrubs in this hedge, and as you can see, some of them are in shade. These ones here do very well in shade, mostly shade, although they are reaching out, so it does make them kind of, it makes them kind of a bit shabby sometimes, because the branches, you know, reach out to try and reach the sun. This one, I must find the names. What I'll do is when I finish recording this, I'll put the names. I'll go through I may even have the labels down at the ground, so I'll have a look and I will put the names on there if I can find them. But I love this particular salmon coloured one here, and they're sort of all different colours at different stages through their sort of growth cycle. So this dark yellow one here starts off much lighter when it starts coming into bud, and then you know, or does it get lighter when it gets older? I can't remember which way around. Yeah, I think it gets lighter as it sort of ages, as the flower ages. Yeah, there, look, you can see where they're inside the hedge, where they flower inside the hedge. I have cut them because I want to create an airflow, because I have got black spot again this year. I did treat it last year, and I didn't get any black spot last year, but I didn't treat it before they you know, started growing again this year, and unfortunately they have got black spot again. So that means the trouble with black spot is it does mean that they're just not going to flower for as long this season. So although they look fantastic right now, the black spot does tend to sort of wear them out sooner through the flowering period. So I'll just keep deadheading and picking them to try and keep them going, and where I see the black spot I'll take it off and dispose of it completely. Don't leave the discarded black spot leaves in your garden. Get rid of them completely. Put them in your main bin. Don't put them on your compost heap even, because it's a fungus, and you can see it when you pick it. It's like dusty, and you don't want the spores in the ground just reinfecting your rose again next year. I knew I had a problem because I could see it already on my climbing rose. I've got a big sort of dead patch which I need to cut out, but I'll get to that another time. But as you can see, apparently it's to do with having a cool, wet spring, and then we've had this heat wave, and it's made that's my first larkspur, I just had to film that there. It's made the roses, you know, bigger than usual. As I said in my other video, they're like dinner plate dahlias. The size of the heads on them are enormous. You know, obviously not when they start out like this, but look how beautiful that is. They're just this one I do know the name of. This is the Pilgrim, and it's a climbing rose. It's funny because I always used to only like pink or red roses, but you know, now I like them all. I like all different colours really. This one I think is particularly beautiful, the Pilgrim. The kind of the outer petals are white, and then it's kind of a classic artist's rose actually. For painting, it's perfect for painting. This one I had in the wrong place for years, so I just replanted this this winter into this border where it would get more sun, because the petals they suffer from being these ones do suffer from not being in the sun, and also from being too wet. But you see, they're almost like a peony actually. Again, it's another David Austin rose, but I can't remember the name of it. But this is the first year it's been in this position in the sun. It's the first year the petals have actually separated. Normally it stays sort of damp and dark and the petals stay kind of glued together and they don't look very good. But I love this little splash of yellow at the base of the petals there. And there's my poppies, my beautiful verbascum, which I am in love with. And here are my red climbing rose. Really, I wanted this up the front of the house because the front of the house is red, but I hate the front of my house because it's on a road, you know, well, I got the cars passing by and you can see the black spot there. So I just don't think I'm going to admire it the same, although I think I'm going to get one though, because it is nice to approach your house and it looks nice from the front. I love that little yellow dot of pollen in the middle of these roses. They're stunning, really stunning. You know, technically red roses are pretty tricky technically to paint. They are really difficult to get the colours and the differentiation in the petals there without being too weird and ugly about it. It's a talent. It's a whole nother talent painting a red rose, believe it or not. And I recently found out, fun fact, that one of the artists who I love, floral artist, Victorian floral artist called Henri Fantin Latour, not very good French accent, I know. There is a Fantin Latour David Austin rose, obviously in honour of his beautiful paintings. This is a climbing rose, this one. So, by the way, I am going to get one of those Fantin Latour roses. I mean, I just have to. It's a nice pink rose. And the other is a rambling rose. So the more delicate white looking flowers on the row, and they're kind of combined. So I had one on one side of the pergola, the other on the other, and they've grown together in this big sort of jumble of roses. But this side is more predominantly the rambler. And again, this all needs cutting back next year and treating, because the climber particularly is suffering from black spot. This one, rambler, is not so much. It's more resistant. Also, interestingly, that pink one that I showed you at the beginning of the video in the shade, that sort of dark fuchsia pink one, that doesn't seem to suffer from black spot either. So that's an interesting one. If you're particular about black spot, or you don't want to risk introducing black spot to your other roses, then ramblers seem to be quite resistant. Certainly this one, and the pink one I showed you in the rose hedge is also extremely resistant. So the black spot you can see in the picture here is mostly the climber. It's all the climber. In fact, there's a big patch there. Look, I need to cut out. I just need to reshape all that there, but it just goes on and it climbs all the way right up through this tree. The rambler actually goes the farthest up the tree, so it's really beautiful. But I do need to shape it so that when I upcycle that seat, it will fit nicely under there and you can sit under there. But look at these beautiful roses. I'm just so chuffed. Apparently it is a bumper year for roses in the UK simply because of the spring that we had, that I've been complaining about forever, and it turns out that explains why we have this lovely display. This one here in the foreground is a cutting from the climber at the back that I showed you. So, and there it is. And obviously the great benefit of roses is that you have to pick them to keep them flowering. Otherwise they'll go to seed and then they'll think their job for the season is done. So you have to pick them. So you just have to fill your house with flowers like these. I mean, how much would this cost you? And I haven't even finished yet. This is just one bucket, probably do about 3 vases with this. And then I'll pick a load more for other rooms in the house. And, you know, same with sweet peas. You just have to constantly pick them. So I have a little pot of sweet peas over my bath. I have one of those little shelves. I've got a roll top bath, vintage bath. So I have one of those little shelves and it's got a little thing of sweet peas on them. And yeah, I've still got all these roses yet to pick. So Yeah, wow. This is why I grow roses. I mean, roses, sweet peas, but roses especially. They're just so easy. Grow them. I love them. And the scent is all over the garden. It's just perfumed the whole garden. And then the sweet peas as well. And I've got the bergamot, and the scent in my garden is just fantastic. I love it. And the honeysuckle as well at the back. So it's a real scented garden as well. So I'll talk about that maybe in another video, all my sort of scented plants. But yeah, there we are. There's my roses. Beautiful. And I'll just finish by showing you a couple of examples of the roses glowing in the evening sunshine, as this one in particular, this is the Rambler, growing up through the tree, and where it reaches the sort of the evening sun, it just glows. And look at these little peach buds. It's just, you know, they're just beautiful. They're like little wedding dresses. They're just really, look at them glowing up there. There's the climber rambling through the trees as well. But in the sunlight, they sort of glow peachy. They're just really beautiful. And then I've got another one. The Pilgrim is just golden in the sunshine. Look at that. It's almost like a lit candle. It's just, the colour of it is just crazy beautiful. Look at these little, honestly, somebody needs to do a wedding dress with these colours. It's just, you know, the perfect colour. I don't know, I can't describe it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Look at that light, look at it shining through. And then this is the gold one here. And this is the Pilgrim Climber. And it just, in this evening light, in this sunshine, just looks like it's made of gold. It's incredible. So, you know, I'm a big fan of the David. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I had David Austin roses before I ever did YouTube. It was the first thing, as I said, I planted in this garden, which was barren when I first got it. And I knew there was no point growing roses without scent. As far as I was concerned, there's absolutely no point. Roses without scent are just, well, they're not roses in my view. I can't stand roses without scent. But again, look at the colours in the sunshine, the sort of the white and then the glowing yellow centre. I can't get over how good they are. So yeah, I'm obviously a fan. So there you go. That's a tour of the roses in my garden. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you know, don't forget to subscribe, like, and, you know, all that jazz. And I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.